Thank you, Tim. Thank you to the European CMT Federation for inviting me to speak with you today, and for the conference organising team for putting me on your programme. I'm Katherine Forsey. I'm the Chief Research Officer at the Charcot-Marie-Tooth Association, which is a US-based nonprofit dedicated to patients with CMT. We're very pleased also to be associate members of the European CMT Federation, because I truly believe that together we are stronger. And it's in this spirit that I've been asked to share with you today the CMTA's experience of patients as partners in research. You've heard a lot today about, and yesterday, about the different research and clinical trials that's happening right now in CMT. The momentum that everybody in this room and those who came before us have contributed to as to where we are now in 2025, that momentum is palpable, and I'm very excited for the future of CMT research and treatment development. But what we've heard a lot about today is patient voice. Patient voice and patient participation is what shapes the future of CMT research. But how? Clicker just threw itself on the floor. Maybe it knows what's to come. How exactly can we facilitate this and ensure that our patient community is and continues to be an equal partner in our efforts? So I wanted to start with defining what's the problem. And CMT was facing a problem. Patients were desperate to know more about CMT research. Patients were eager to get involved in studies, but they didn't know how, and they didn't know who to trust. And then researchers had participation opportunities, but they had limited ways to connect with the patients. So how could the CMTA, who are the global leading patient advocacy group for CMT, how could we bridge that divide? How could we ensure that patients can become partners in the progress and partners in clinical research, and make sure that rare disease research is not delayed due to lack of participants? So to solve this problem, the CMTA set out to unite the patient and the research community and provide a trusted place to share research opportunities with the CMT patients. We created the Patients as Partners in Research platform. So what is Patients as Partners in Research? It's a powerful tool with a truly global impact, and it's our platform to mobilize patients and place them at the center of CMT research and treatment development. Our platform allows CMT patients to share details about their CMT so that we can connect them with worldwide CMT research opportunities and clinical trials. It's open to all CMT patients from every country. So I'm going to provide you with an overview of the platform and the impact that it's had on CMT research and treatment development so far. I'm also going to highlight some of the current opportunities to get involved in CMT research as examples. And then I'm going to speak briefly about some of the new elements of our platform's capabilities, which are so new you won't have heard about them yet. And finally, for those of us in the room who live with CMT, I'm going to show you how you can become a patient as partner in research, or direct your patients, who are often very research curious, to join the platform and find the information that they're seeking. So the Patients as Partners in Research platform was launched by the CMTA back in 2018, and it is an essential part of STAR, which is our strategy to accelerate research. Since then, it's grown to become the largest global CMT patient-reported dataset, and it's become a really powerful tool to understand CMT. And the platform also works to accelerate CMT research and the development of treatments through facilitated patient participation. And it's only possible because of those in the room who are patients, and globally the CMT patients who we serve, because the platform becomes more and more powerful the more and more patients who join it. So what I'd just quickly like to ask you to do is to raise your hand in the air if you yourself have created a Patients as Partner in Research profile. I know at least one person has. Alexander, because I get to see the data on the back end. So I know there are people here, thank you very much to all those who've raised their hands and helped us to create the Patients in Partners in Research platform. So far, we have over 8,700 profiles. That's 2,000 more than 12 months ago today, so it's growing really rapidly at the minute. And that's why this is the largest global patient-reported data set. So far, we have 49 different CMT subtypes represented, and we've supported over 36 different research studies. And here is a snapshot of the global reach of patients as partners in research. More and more patients join the platform every week, and they are from all over the world. And this is so important because CMT research and treatment development is truly a global effort. Clinical trial sites are spread across North America, Europe, and Asia. And whilst all of you can't see me sitting at my little desk in England, every time new people join this platform, I do a little dance in my office and we see it grow, and it just becomes more useful and more powerful to help support research. So what types of studies do we share with the community via Patients as Partners in Research? So they might range from simple surveys to learn about CMT, so we understand more about things like what age symptoms first appear, what age of diagnosis, therefore how long is the diagnostic odyssey. I can then analyse that data and understand how this varies between different CMT subtypes. Patients share that information with us just by filling in a profile. It's around 20 questions, and it takes just a few minutes to complete. What we then do is we anonymise and analyse this data, and we share it at international conferences, as scientific abstracts and posters, and that helps to inform all of you and the global research community. This is my poster from PNS 2 years ago in Copenhagen. We also work with our STAR Alliance and clinical partners. Many of you will see your logos up on the screen now. And that helps to support patient focus groups, patient identification, and recruitment to all different phases of clinical trials. These partners can be hospital sites like UCL in London, where we're supporting the SENSE trial with Mary and her team. And our platform also helps to ask important questions about what symptoms are most bothersome to patients, and therefore, which symptoms is it most important to tackle with future potential treatments. We also help all of these partners to find out how patients feel about the different types of treatments that are in development for CMT. Are they something that a patient would consider taking? This is all really essential knowledge for patient-focused drug development, and this is again done through online surveys, online or in-person focus groups. And Patients as Partners also helps us to feedback on clinical trial recruitment materials, leaflets, posters, websites, to make sure that they are understandable and accessible to all patients. One of the huge powers of the platform is the support that it provides to recruiting for in-person studies. And these might be natural history studies to collect data on how CMT progresses over time, or blood and skin samples to analyse for biomarkers of disease progression. We've also had patient partners step up to donate their blood or their wisdom teeth to make stem cells that can be used for research. But importantly, as you've been hearing about at this conference, we're in a pivotal era of clinical trials in CMT, with more and more trials now active than we've ever had before, and there are more trials coming on the horizon. These clinical trials can only happen if patients step forward to become partners in that research. And I know that we as patient advocacy groups can support with this because we've supported so many studies already, and I work closely with the community. They're eager for more trials and interested in participating. So our entire community is incredibly grateful to all of you in this room who are helping to make sure that these clinical trials are happening, and they also cannot happen without the patients firmly at the centre. So I'm sure some of you probably wondering which Patients as Partners in Research opportunities we have live right now. So the CMTA has a new website. It's very shiny. If there are some pages that aren't working yet, please let us know because we're fixing as we go along. But the new website allows you to browse the whole collection of Patients as Partners in Research opportunities. And people who join the platform and importantly, give us their permission to email them, they're going to be the first ones to hear about new opportunities to participate in CMT research. We'll let them know first, just as soon as new opportunities become added to the website. And these could be surveys, focus groups, natural history studies, clinical trials. And what's very important is joining the platform does not commit patients to taking part in any study. But just by building a profile on the platform, they provide essential research data, and we can also share then with them the latest research news, so they're informed. Are they going to get involved in a clinical trial of a genetic therapy if they don't know what a genetic therapy is? So we do a lot of patient education, preparing them in advance for the technologies that are coming along. So I'm just going to share a couple of examples from EU-based studies that the CMTA has supported recruitment for using the Patients as Partners in Research platform. So CMTA funded the FIAS Lab. Hi, team in the room. So we worked with the FIAS Lab, who are based right here in Belgium, led by Professor Esther Wolfs, to develop in vitro models of CMT using the stem cells derived from dental pulp. And this project required patients to donate their wisdom teeth after routine extractions. I have to be honest and say that our comms team really had a lot of fun with this one. Because we've had years of educating the world that CMT has got nothing to do with teeth. And then we've spent at least 12 months now asking them for their teeth. The CMT community has answered this call in droves, and thanks to the hard work of the FIAS Lab, many of the teeth have been donated across multiple different CMT subtypes. I know Esther's here. It's just how many teeth have you had, and how many subtypes does that cover? 18 lines.
And still more to come. These are other ways. I don't know exactly how many types, but we cover quite a spectrum, and also some very rare forms.
So we started off just going for 1A, but more people got enthusiastic and started sending them other subtypes too. So we span from the common to the very rare. Working with teams such as this, it's amazing how many people want to send in their teeth. Another example of a project, you might have seen in the news just this month how the CMT community has taken action and answered the call and helped to achieve a really important research milestone. CMTA Star Alliance partner NMD Pharma recently announced reaching full patient enrollment in its phase 2 Synapse CMT clinical trial. The study reached its goal ahead of schedule. They've enrolled 81 participants across CMT types 1 and 2 in the United States and Europe. They're investigating their drug NMD 670, which works, we've heard before, on the chloride ion channel found in skeletal muscle. Because the pathway is not specific to any CMT causative gene, it means the approach can have subtype agnostic benefits across multiple CMT types. And what we know is enrollment finished 5 months ahead of plan, which has shaved 5 months off the overall development timeline to get the drug to those who need it. And of course, we're waiting to see if the results confirm safety and meaningful benefit. But 5 months saved in recruitment must be a few dollars for the companies that are pushing the treatment forward. So the CMTA supported awareness of this trial, outreach, participant recruitment for the study, and several patient focus groups on the trial recruitment materials, and it connected our members with this opportunity. That effort helped to accelerate that enrollment and demonstrates the impact that CMTs have on the speed of research progress. Final example I'm going to share with you is from CMTA Star Alliance partner and France-based biotechnology company NervoSave Therapeutics. I worked directly with the leaders of NervoSave to co-develop an online survey to help understand patient perspectives on their new AAV genetic therapy, which is currently under development for CMT1A. We wanted to learn how patients felt about the proposed new therapy, so we shared, in patient-friendly language, the target product profile for their AAV-based approach. And that included details of the 14 localized injections that would be needed to deliver the treatment. And then we collected the patient feedback to see how they felt about this delivery approach. And we also collected information around burden of disease and most bothersome symptoms. And I know from working with clinicians, many of them are like, ooh, 14 injections, I don't think they'll like that. Well, I'll tell you what happened. All of the questions were helped to guide NervoSafe in the development of the treatment and the delivery method and ensure that the development route was truly patient-focused and their opinions were taken into account. So through the platform, we were able to send the survey directly to patients with CMT1A. And NervoSafe also shared a French language version with our friends at CMT France, who shared it with their members as well. And between our two organisations, we were able to gather over 500 patient responses for that survey just in a matter of weeks. And the data's currently been analysed, and it will be published by all three organisations in due course. But I've seen it, and it's overwhelmingly positive. And we told them about 14 injections, and it's over 90% that said yes, they would take it. So collecting patient perspectives on AAV-based therapies and different delivery routes, we can show that we can do that quickly, and we can put the patients at the centre, and it gives that feedback directly to the companies who are in drug development. So collaborative working through the platform allows us to rapidly gather insights from a diverse patient population and directly supports the development and future directions of drug development. So the continued growth and success of the Patients and Partners in Research platform has actually pushed us to the edge of what the current technology we were using for the platform was capable of. So we wanted to be able to keep growing the platform, and to achieve this, we've recently moved to a new home for our platform with greater technological capability. Those who are familiar, it's Qualtrics, if you were wondering. Patients who have an existing profile on Patients as Partners were ported over and given the opportunity to review their data, fill in any gaps, and answer some new questions. Those new questions are a brand new survey that CMTA has launched to help us better understand comorbidities. So comorbidities are other things that patients diagnosed with CMT might be suffering from. So some of these things might be known to be more common in people with CMT. So they're down as common symptoms like scoliosis or hip dysplasia. But we're also asking about conditions that currently have no real published data that they're more common in people with CMT than the general population. But many of us have our suspicions. I'm not going to bias the survey responses by sharing what all of those might be, but there is a long list of conditions that we want to ask patients about and see if they're also suffering from. So patients who have not yet built a profile on the platform will be asked to and able to create a new one, answer all the original profile questions, which we've got 8,700 patients worth of data for, but also access the new comorbidity survey. I'm very grateful for some of the people in this room, members of the CMTA's Clinical Expert Board, for reviewing that survey with us. One of the other elements we've also added is a new demographics section, because the previous survey launched many years ago didn't ask some very simple demographics questions. So we're able to work with Geeta, Nicole, the team at the Inherited Neuropathy Consortium to guide the demographics section, so we'll have that fully populated. So in terms of how we can build a new profile, I'm just going to share it because many of you could suggest to your patients that you would. So simply you go to the Patients as Partners in Research webpage on the CMTA website, or you can use that QR code that's right there on the screen. And then you follow a two-step process to register and then build a profile. And then you can check out all of the currently open participation opportunities that are listed on our site. And then finally, if you find a research opportunity that you meet the criteria for, then you can read all about it and decide if you want to apply to take part. This is the webpage that you can visit there, cmtausa.org/PAP is a short URL, to see the opportunities and build a profile. So put simply, through the Patients as Partners in Research platform, the entire CMT community is able to contribute to CMT research and help to accelerate the development of future treatments. If patients tell us about their CMT, we can tell them what's happening in CMT research and share appropriate opportunities for them to take part. And just finally, what I wanted to say is a very big thank you. We cannot do this without our community. CMT research and clinical trials are not possible without patients. So thank you to everybody who's created a profile or who has directed their family, their friends, or their patients to take part. And thank you in advance to all of those of you who will complete the new survey in future or direct people to do so. But also, many of you in this room are the ones that are creating these research opportunities. You're leading the natural history studies and the clinical trials, and we're proud to support your efforts and keep sending patients in your direction. If any of you have an ongoing study that you need CMT patients for, please come and talk to me. We can get it up on the website. It's completely free to list the study, and we'll support you to find participants. And lastly, just thank you for your continued participation and support of all of our research efforts. We're hugely grateful, and I'm really happy to take questions about the platform or anything that we do at the CMTA. Thank you.
Thanks, Katherine, for the wonderful presentation. There's a question in the front. Arabella.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say thank you, not only for the presentation, but thank you, CMTA, for the fact that in 1999, I'm tired a bit. I was in high school. I had CMT. I knew that my mom has CMT and her two sisters, so two aunts. I did not know much about my disease. The only neurologist, because I'm coming from a smaller town in Romania, the pediatric neurologist was just telling me, well, there's nothing much you can do about it. I did some physical rehabilitation, but that's all. And I really wanted to understand my condition. So what I did, I didn't even have internet at home, so I went to internet cafes, in town, and I searched online and I came across CMTA and CMT Canada back then. So in 1999 and in 2000, I took a lot of information from you guys, and you actually sent some information, physical information in Romania to me. So I kind of became an informed patient by my own, thanks to you. So thank you for this. And so what you're doing, for sure, it's a wonderful and important work that you're doing. So, and I know in so many projects you are a role model for us as well here in Europe. But I have a question regarding the surveys that you mentioned, for example, because you mentioned the comorbidity survey, and I guess there were some other surveys along the time. So, do you make sure that the patients have access to the data, the results of the survey? They are always informed. I'm just wondering how the informations of all the developments that you are doing reaches the patients that are partners in research.
Yes, I'm really keen that it all goes full circle, so the people that contribute get to hear about what their end products are. So when an opportunity closes on our website, when we close it, we put some updated information at the bottom that either says what the results were or how they can go to read the full results. For the NervoSave one, we're waiting for the full publication, so once it's available, we have agreement from the company that we'll be able to share it. We've got little snapshots so far, and then because we can communicate with our patients through our platform, we will contact them first to say thank you so much for joining in. Here's a copy of the data and the outcome that's happened. So we emailed everybody this week to say thank you for helping us recruit to the NMD Pharma study. So we get back in touch with them regularly to say what's happened, and then the poster that I shared, I mean, even though that was academic level poster, we still get in touch with all of the patients and say this is what your data's been turned into. We don't quite have like an instant gratification model where they fill it in and they can see the data themselves, but we do have a route to communicating the reports, the surveys. If we have a focus group, we'll write it up and we'll publish it. And there's sometimes a time lag with publication, but we always try to make sure that it's back in front of the patients, and then the website listing's updated once the opportunity's closed with what came out of it.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Elena?
Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. I think CMTA is doing so much amazing work, and so I really like the platform. And I was wondering, regarding access for people outside the English-speaking community, what kind of plans are there to translate contents and access and things to reach people who might not or might have the language barrier. So how can we distribute this better? Since you're worldwide already, yes, how is this going to evolve and how can we access? Thank you.
We have two levels of that. So the CMTA website is already fully translated into Spanish, so you can click at the top for the Spanish version because of course it's almost a second language in the US. And then after that, for the platform now on Qualtrics, they have advanced tools for translation into 7 different languages that are more than just your bog standard Google Translate. So we've got 7 so far by moving to Qualtrics, which is 6 more than we had before. So we keep moving in that direction. And as we've said with our European partners, quite a lot of our materials we give to other groups and with free permission to translate, and then we list them back on the website as a translated version. So if there are any partners at our European CMT Federation, friends and members who want to create a version in their own language, then you just have to have a chat with me and we'll work on creating it. It's nice to co-curate that together and notice where the native speakers can poke holes in any of the translations that we've achieved so far.
Thank you.